The Anthem Arizona real estate market is my jam, and I can't wait to reflect on 2019 and share our projections for 2020. Hey, welcome back. I'm Lindsay, a proud Anthem resident and your local realtor with the Wise Move AZ team at Realty One Group. If you want to stay up to date on all things Anthem and real estate, then you need to hit that subscribe button. Pro tip, you're also going to want to hit the little bell icon so that you're the first to know when our new videos are posted every single Thursday. If you visited our channel before, chances are you know just how excited we get about life in Anthem. In fact, you might be sick of hearing how much we love Anthem. Our career in real estate was sparked by our love of this beautiful community we are so proud to call home. And it's fueled every day by the strength of the market here. We've always wanted to share market statistics with our YouTube audience, but we've struggled with the best way to do it. We know that the numbers bring value, particularly if you're planning to buy or sell in the not so distant future. But we also know that rattling off numbers might bore you to death. But with the start of a new year and a new decade, we decided that we needed to reflect on what's going on in the market and share our thoughts for the upcoming year. Carolyn and I are nerds when it comes to statistics, and there are so many different directions we could have taken this video. I promise that we put a lot of thought and energy into sharing what we believe to be the most valuable at-a-glance statistics. There is a lot of talk in the real estate community about the dreaded R word, and Carolyn and I decided that it wouldn't be valuable if we just contributed to the noise already out there. We aren't economists and we don't pretend to be. But if our experience has taught us anything, it's that there are some Anthem residents that will need to sell their homes, and there will be newcomers excitedly waiting to take their place. It's that awesome here. And even if there is a recession, downturn, or correction, due to the very limited supply in Anthem, we'll be buffered. We decided that the true value of this video lied in being laser focused on the Anthem market. So without further ado, let's take a look at what happened in the Anthem real estate market in 2019. As you may or may not already know, Anthem is a one-of-a-kind master planned community located just north of Phoenix. The community is made up of 7 distinct areas, all with their own unique charm and features. These areas include Anthem Country Club, Anthem Parkside East, Anthem Parkside West, including Circle Mountain Ranch, Arroyo Grande, Paseo, The Landings, and The Village. I think at this point we've done video tours on almost all of those areas, so if that interests you, I will link to our Anthem playlist in the cards for this video. We decided that this video would be way too long if we looked at the stats for each of the different areas, even if it would make our nerdy hearts sing. So in the interest of time, the stats that we'll be sharing in this video are for Anthem as a whole. If you would like statistics for a particular area within Anthem, let us know by way of comment below or by sending us an email to team@wisemoveaz.com, and we will happily get that information over to you. In talking with our past and present clients, they told us that the most valuable stats would be 1, the number of homes sold, 2, the average sales price, 3, the average sales price per square foot, 4, the average days on market, and 5, how close homes sold to their listing price. So let's take a look at the number of homes sold on a monthly basis. As you can see, in 2019, a total of 909 homes sold. This number follows a similar trend year after year in Anthem. We start the year relatively slow, with sales growing through to May or July, and then tapering off through the end of the year. The high volume of sales in the summer months tends to correlate with families wanting to be settled before the start of a new school year, and with snowbirds wanting to make sure that they have a home in place before the winter season. In 2020, we expect to see a similar pattern, i.e. a peak in the number of homes sold in the summer months. That being said, it's really hard to say whether we'll see more homes sold in 2020 than were sold in 2019. Anthem continues to have very low inventory, and if this doesn't increase, well, As you can imagine, it's very hard for us to sell homes that aren't for sale. Next, let's take a look at the average sales prices in Anthem month over month. This graph shows the low, average, and high sales prices each month in 2019. We started the year with an average sales price of roughly $346,000 and finished with an average of roughly $363,000. That's an increase of roughly 5% from the start of the year to the end of the year. And as you can see from the graph, prices are tracking upwards. As homeowners in Anthem, we are excited at the thought of our homes appreciating year over year. However, as realtors, we know that prices can only grow so much before it starts to raise other concerns in the market. We feel strongly that prices will continue to rise modestly as a whole through 2020. This is evidence of the Phoenix metro area continuing to see more and more people moving into the area. Average sales price only says so much, and it can't really account for the difference between a mansion and a starter home. As realtors, we often like to look at the average sales price per square foot when looking at the state of the market. This can create a more level comparison between properties, but it's by no means a perfect comparison. That being said, as you can see on this graph, the average price per square foot also tracked up throughout 2019. The year started with an average of $152.17 per square foot and ended with an average of $163.53 per square foot. That's a difference of more than $10 per square foot. Much like the average sales price, we expect sales price per square foot to continue a steady increase throughout 2020. Another interesting statistic is average cumulative days on market. This gives an indication of how long a home sat on the market before closing. It's important to note that this statistic is also imperfect. If a home is marked as pending when it goes under contract, it stops accumulating days on the market. However, if a property is marked UCB, under contract accepting backups, or CCBS, contract contingent on buyer's sale, it continues to accrue days on the market until the day of closing. This figure can still give us a good sense of how long homes are sitting on the market here in beautiful Anthem, Arizona. As you can see, days on market fluctuated in the first half of the year with a dip in May, followed by a steady decline of days on market in August through to the end of the year. What does this mean? It means that on average, homes were selling faster when they hit the market at the end of the year than at the start of the year. This might seem counterintuitive. Prices were higher and the homes were selling faster. Doesn't that go against basic economic principles? The short answer is no. The piece that's missing in this picture is that inventory was uncharacteristically low in Anthem this year. The low supply may have driven the prices up and forced people to make quicker decisions when they found the right house. Lastly, people are always curious about how close homes sell to their list price. In 2019, in Anthem, homes sold for an average of 99% of their list price. Some buyers may find this disheartening because they feel like there's little room to negotiate on the price of the home. And in some cases, that may be true. But this stat doesn't account for the fact that some houses are priced way too high when they first hit the market, and they don't sell until their price is reduced to within 1% of the market value. You're probably sick of hearing me say this, but this just speaks to the importance of making sure that you're working with an agent who has local expertise and knows the value of the homes in that area. This is important for both buyers and sellers. Long story short, it was a good time to be a seller in Anthem in 2019, and we suspect the same will be true for at least the first half of 2020. Buyers, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad time for you to buy. It just means that you need to be diligent and informed. You'll need to be ready to move quickly when the right home hits the market. But you'll also need to make sure that you're working with a realtor with local expertise who can ensure that you're not overpaying for the home. So there you have it. What do you think? Will 2020 be the year that you make a move to Anthem? Or if you're already living here, are you thinking about selling? I can think of a few things I could do with an extra 5% of my home's value. Overall, it's a very exciting time to be living and working in the community that we love so much. If you have questions about how these numbers impact you, please let us know. You'll find our contact information in the description box below. If all of this has you thinking, Yeah, I could consider a move to Anthem. Then you'll definitely want to download a copy of our guide to HOA fees throughout Anthem, and you'll find a link to that in the description box below as well. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with your friends. See you next Thursday.